Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into some Japanese habits that could be life-changing.
Oh, cool.
Our source is a popular YouTube video.
Okay.
It's called 12 Small Japanese Habits That Can Transform Your Life in 2025.
All right.
It's from the channel Samurai Matcha, and it's really interesting because they pull inspiration from a lot of different places,
Okay.
like the Japanese tea ceremony, minimalism,
Interesting.
even samurai philosophy.
Wow.
It's a really unique blend
I like it.
of practical advice
Yeah.
and cultural insights.
That's cool.
Let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
First up is start clean and organized.
Okay.
The YouTuber who made this video said that this habit was like a total game changer for them. It helped them keep their space tidy, and it really boosted their productivity.
I like it.
And it's all about starting and ending each task,
Okay.
or even your day, with just a little bit of cleaning
Oh.
and organization.
Makes sense. So does this resonate with you at all? Like when you think about your own workspace?
Hmm.
Does clutter make you feel stressed or scattered?
Yeah, sometimes.
There's actually research that shows that a clean and organized environment can really reduce stress
Really?
and improve focus. It's like
What?
giving your mind a clean slate to work with.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Even just taking like 5 minutes to tidy up my desk before I start working makes a huge difference.
Totally.
Okay, so now for a slightly quirkier habit,
Okay.
the 100% habit.
All right.
This is about finding a tiny,
Okay.
achievable task that you can commit to doing every day,
Right.
no matter what,
Every day.
every single day.
Wow.
The YouTuber's example was putting socks on left foot first
Okay.
for over 25 years.
What? Every single day, left foot first.
Left foot first every day for over 25 years.
Wow, that's dedication.
I know, right? But what I find really fascinating is the psychology behind it. So the idea is
Okay.
to build confidence through consistent micro-victories.
Oh, I see.
It's not about the task itself,
Mm-hmm.
but the act of following through, proving to yourself that you're capable of keeping a commitment,
That makes sense.
no matter how small. So what would your 100% habit be?
Ooh.
Something small, achievable,
Okay.
maybe even a little silly, that you could do every single day.
I like that. You know, mine's actually making my bed every morning.
Ooh.
It seems trivial,
Yeah?
but it sets a positive tone for the entire day.
I love it. Okay, moving on to habit number 3. Treat things like your lover.
Oh, interesting.
This one's all about mindfulness and respect,
Okay.
even for everyday objects. So the YouTuber talks about handling things with the same care and gentleness as you would treat
Okay.
a loved one.
I see. I see. Have you ever noticed how rushed and disconnected we
Yeah.
can feel in our daily lives?
For sure.
So this habit encourages us to slow down,
Right?
be more present, and savor.
Mm.
Even the simplest actions, like just imagine for a moment, the shift in awareness if you were to consciously place your phone down gently instead of just tossing it on the table. It's subtle,
Yeah,
but it can have a big impact on your overall sense of peace.
absolutely. Okay, next up is a deep one, the change your mindset habits.
Ooh, I like this.
This habit is all about realizing the power we have to shape our experiences,
Okay.
even in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
So the YouTuber tells this story about a famous samurai, Takasugi Shinsaku, who, on his deathbed, uttered the first part of a haiku to make a dull world interesting.
Wow.
His caretaker finished the haiku by adding, "It's your heart that makes it so."
It's beautiful.
It's a really profound reminder that our mindset shapes our reality.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
And the YouTuber actually gives this hilarious example. Instead of getting upset about stepping in dog poop, try thinking, wow, how lucky am I?
What?
I know.
That's a good one.
But it's about reframing negative situations
Right.
and choosing to see the positive,
I see.
even when it's tough. So think about a recent setback you've experienced. Is there any way that you can reframe it in a more positive light? What lessons did you learn from it?
Reframing is powerful.
It is.
It is. Instead of dwelling on the negative, we can choose to focus on those lessons learned and the opportunities for growth.
Exactly. All right, ready for habit number 5.
Hit me.
It's all about health, specifically heal your gut.
Okay.
The YouTuber emphasizes the importance of fermented foods, like natto, miso soup, and koi,
Okay.
which are staples in Japanese cuisine.
Right. What's interesting here is the science behind it.
Yeah.
The gut-brain connection is a really hot topic in research right now, and studies are showing how the bacteria in our gut can influence our mood and mental health
Wow.
and overall well-being.
The YouTuber shares a personal story.
Okay.
about struggling with depression
Mm-hmm.
and finding relief after incorporating fermented foods
Oh,
and a
wow.
koso drink into their diet.
Interesting. While it's important to be cautious about anecdotal evidence,
Right.
this does align with emerging research on the role of specific gut bacteria in mood regulation.
It's incredible how much our gut can impact our overall well-being. So even if you're not a fan of Japanese cuisine,
Yeah,
think about incorporating some other fermented foods into your diet,
sure.
like yogurt or kimchi
Right.
or sauerkraut.
Yeah, you could even explore prebiotic-rich foods like asparagus, onions, and bananas.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, they provide nourishment for the beneficial bacteria in your gut.
Okay, now for a quick reset, literally.
Okay.
Habit number 6 is alternating showers. The YouTuber claims that ending a hot shower with bursts of cold water
Ooh,
increase their energy, resilience, and focus.
it's definitely invigorating.
Yeah,
And there's scientific evidence to support the benefits of alternating hot and cold exposure.
cool.
Like it can improve circulation, boost the immune system, and even aid in muscle recovery.
I gotta admit, the thought of that initial blast of cold water is a little daunting.
Yeah, I hear you. But think of it as a mini adventure for your senses.
Okay?
Start gradually, maybe with just a few seconds of cold water and work your way up. You might be surprised how quickly you adapt, and that feeling of invigorated energy afterward is said to be long-lasting.
Okay, all right. I'm willing to give it a try.
Yes.
Now on to a more calming habit, meditation. The YouTuber incorporates just 3 minutes
Okay.
of morning meditation, focusing on their breath and soaking in the sunlight.
I like that. It's fascinating how the YouTuber links this practice to the Japanese word for meditation, jisin, jikokoro, meaning your heart-mind.
Right?
It highlights the deep connection between our breath and our mental state.
They talked about how meditation helps them gain control over their mind instead of being controlled by it.
I love that.
Meditation's become increasingly popular,
It has.
and for good reason.
Yes.
Studies show that it can reduce stress, improve focus, and even promote emotional regulation. There's so many different techniques to explore.
Right.
From mindfulness to mantra-based meditation, what's important is finding what resonates with you and making it a consistent practice,
Absolutely.
even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up is a habit that really resonated with me, your own morning hour.
Oh, tell me about this one.
The YouTuber found that ditching social media and news first thing in the morning
Oh, interesting.
and replacing it with activities that brought them personal joy was a total game changer.
Wow. I wonder if this resonates with you too. Think about how you typically start your day. Are you bombarded with information and external stimuli
Oh yeah,
before you even have a chance to connect with yourself?
totally.
This habit is about reclaiming that first hour and dedicating it to self-care and setting intentions for the day ahead.
The YouTuber mentioned activities like walking,
Okay.
meditating, yoga, or journaling.
Those are all great. What I find powerful here is the shift in focus, from reacting to external demands to proactively creating a positive and intentional start to your day.
All right, let's move on to habit number 9, the matcha ritual. This goes beyond just enjoying a cup of matcha. It's about bringing mindful awareness to the entire
Okay.
process of preparation.
I like that. Tell me more.
So the YouTuber explains how their movements become more hurried when they're feeling rushed. They handle the tools roughly when they're stressed.
Oh, wow.
They even spill the matcha when they're distracted.
Really?
It's like the ritual itself becomes a mirror, reflecting their internal state.
I like that. This resonates with the concept of mindful awareness. We can use everyday rituals, like brewing coffee, taking a shower, or even just brushing our teeth, as opportunities for self-reflection. By paying attention to our actions and noticing how our emotions influence our behavior, we can gain valuable insights into ourselves.
Yeah, that's a great point. What's a daily ritual you could bring more awareness to?
Ooh, let me think. I'm actually quite fond of my morning coffee routine.
Yeah.
Instead of rushing through it, I'm going to try to savor the aroma, the warmth of the mug in my hands, and the taste of each sip.
I love that. It's amazing how something so simple can become a practice in mindfulness.
It really is.
Okay, ready for habit number 10? This one is all about gratitude.
Ooh, good one.
Gratitude is such a powerful emotion, and research shows that it can have
Oh, yeah,
a profound impact on our well-being.
for sure.
The YouTuber was inspired by interviews with elderly villagers in Japan,
Okay.
who seem to find happiness in the simplicity of everyday life.
It makes you think, It challenges us to reconsider our own definitions of happiness.
It does.
Like, do we constantly seek external validation and material possessions, or can we find contentment in the present moment?
Right.
Appreciating the small things
Yeah.
often go unnoticed.
To cultivate more gratitude, the YouTuber started a gratitude journal.
Oh,
Writing
nice.
down 3 things they're grateful for each morning.
I've been incorporating gratitude practices into my own life for years, and I found that it's like training your brain to focus on the positive.
Yeah,
It's not about ignoring challenges
right.
or pretending everything is perfect, but rather about intentionally seeking out and acknowledging the good things in our lives,
Yeah.
no matter how small they may seem.
Sometimes when I'm feeling down, it's hard to find things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
Any tips for overcoming that?
Start small.
Okay.
Focus on the basic. Are you grateful for a warm bed to sleep in?
Yeah.
A roof over your head?
Uh-huh.
A delicious meal?
Yeah.
The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll start to notice the abundance of good things in your life.
It's like shifting our perspective from scarcity to abundance.
Exactly. And that shift in perspective can have a ripple effect on our entire outlook on life.
Okay, we're nearing the end of our list. Habit number 11 is the 1 in 10 rule, which is all about persistence in the face of failure.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTuber learned this rule from Uniqlo's CEO,
Oh, wow.
Tadashi Yanai, who said,
Okay.
if you give your all 10 times,
Mm-hmm.
at least one of them will succeed.
I like that.
It's a reminder that failure is not the opposite of success,
Yeah.
but rather a stepping stone
Yeah.
on the path to success.
What's fascinating here is the concept of a growth mindset. Instead of viewing failure as a sign of inadequacy,
Right?
we can choose to see it as an opportunity for learning and growth.
The YouTuber shares that they initially struggled with this concept,
Okay.
being afraid of failure. But through their experience creating YouTube videos,
Mm-hmm.
they learned that if they make 10 videos,
Yeah.
at least one of them usually goes viral.
It's a great example of how this rule can be applied practically. Think about an area in your own life where you're afraid to fail.
Mm.
Could applying the 1 in 10 rule help you overcome that fear and take more risks?
It's a powerful question to ponder.
It is.
All right, ready for the final habit? This one's a classic: workout.
Okay.
It might seem obvious, but the YouTuber emphasizes the transformative power of exercise
Right.
on both body and mind, and how it helped them go from feeling scrawny,
Okay.
like a bean sprout,
Right.
to more confident and energetic.
What I find interesting here
Yep.
is that they don't focus on aesthetics or achieving a certain body type.
Right.
It's more about embracing the physical and mental transformation that comes with consistent movement.
It's about finding a form of movement that you enjoy,
Yeah.
whether it's dancing, hiking, swimming, or anything that gets your body moving
Right.
and your heart rate up.
And it's about prioritizing consistency over intensity.
Right.
You don't have to spend hours at the gym every day to reap the benefits of exercise.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even a short walk or a few minutes of yoga can make a difference.
All right. That wraps up our deep dive into the first 12 of these fascinating Japanese habits. Welcome back to our deep dive into these intriguing Japanese habits. I'm really struck by how these habits aren't just about, like, individual actions,
Right.
but they seem to connect to
Yeah.
a broader philosophy of living.
It's like they offer a glimpse into a different way of approaching life,
Yeah.
the way that emphasizes balance, mindfulness, and connection.
Exactly. As we continue exploring these habits, I
Yeah.
think it's important to remember that it's not about rigidly adopting someone else's routine,
Yeah.
but rather about extracting the underlying wisdom and applying it to our own lives
Totally.
in a way that feels authentic and meaningful.
I couldn't agree more. It's about finding what resonates with you and experimenting with different practices to see what works best for your unique circumstances and goals.
Okay, so let's jump back into the habits.
Let's do it.
We left off with workout,
Right.
which might seem like a pretty standard habit,
Yeah.
but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how the YouTuber's approach might differ
Okay.
from the typical Western fitness culture.
It's a great observation. The YouTuber doesn't emphasize aesthetics or achieving a certain body type. Instead, they focus on the holistic benefits of exercise, increased confidence, energy, and overall well-being.
It's more about feeling good in your body rather than conforming to external standards of beauty.
Exactly. And I think that's a really refreshing perspective, especially in a world that often bombards us with unrealistic body images and pressures us to strive for an unattainable ideal.
It's a good reminder to focus on how exercise makes us feel, not just how it makes us look.
Absolutely. And I think that aligns with the overall theme of these habits, which is about cultivating a sense of inner peace, self-awareness, and connection with the present moment.
Speaking of connection, let's revisit the matcha ritual habit.
Oh, yes.
I'm still fascinated by how the simple act of preparing tea can become a practice in mindfulness.
It's a beautiful example of how everyday activities can become opportunities for self-reflection. The YouTuber highlights how their movements and interactions with the tools reflect their mental state.
It's like the ritual itself becomes a mirror,
Right.
reflecting back their inner world.
Precisely. And I think that's something we can all do even without a formal matcha ceremony, whether it's brewing coffee, cooking a meal, or even just taking a shower. We can bring a heightened awareness to those actions and observe how our thoughts and emotions influence our behavior.
It's about turning the mundane into an opportunity for mindful presence.
And that's a powerful shift in perspective. It allows us to find moments of peace and connection throughout our day, rather than just reserving them for formal meditation practices.
Right. It's about integrating mindfulness into the fabric of our lives.
And I think that's a key takeaway from these Japanese habits. They're not about compartmentalizing our lives into separate spheres of work, self-care, and spirituality. They're about weaving those elements together, creating a more holistic and fulfilling way of being.
It's about finding balance and meaning in everyday life.
Precisely. And I believe that's something we all strive for, regardless of our cultural background.
Absolutely. Okay, so as we continue exploring these habits,
Yeah.
I want to go back to the 100% habit for a moment. I'm curious, do you have any other examples of micro habits that our listeners could incorporate into their lives?
Of course. The beauty of micro habits is their simplicity and flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
They can be tailored to your individual needs and preferences.
Right.
For example, if you want to cultivate more gratitude, you could commit to writing down one thing you're thankful for each day.
Okay.
If you want to move your body more, you could commit to taking a 5-minute walk every morning.
Good idea.
If you want to be more mindful, you could commit to taking 3 deep breaths before responding to a stressful email.
It's amazing how even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect on our overall well-being.
It's all about consistency and intention.
Yeah.
By choosing a micro habit that aligns with your values and aspirations, you're setting yourself up for success.
And those small wins can snowball into bigger changes over time.
Exactly. It's like building momentum towards a more fulfilling life, one micro habit at a time.
Okay, I want to touch on the heal your gut habit again.
Okay.
We talked about the gut-brain connection
Yeah.
and the importance of fermented foods, but are there other lifestyle factors that can impact gut health?
Absolutely. Stress, sleep deprivation, and even certain medications can disrupt the delicate balance of our gut microbiome.
So it's not just about what we eat,
Right.
but also about how we live.
Exactly. Managing stress through practices like meditation or yoga, prioritizing quality sleep, and being mindful of medication use can all contribute to a healthy gut.
It's a holistic approach that considers the interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
And I think that's a recurring theme in these Japanese habits.
Yeah.
They emphasize the importance of balance and harmony, not just within ourselves, but also in our relationship with the world around us.
Right. It's about cultivating a sense of interconnectedness
Yeah,
and recognizing that our actions have ripple effects.
precisely. And that brings us back to the concept of treat things like your lover. It's not just about being gentle with objects. It's about bringing that same care and awareness to our interactions with others, with nature, and even with ourselves.
It's about extending that mindfulness and respect to every aspect of our lives.
And I think that's a beautiful way to live. It's about approaching life with a sense of reverence and appreciation, finding joy in the simple things, and recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
That's a powerful reminder, and I think it perfectly encapsulates the essence of these Japanese habits. They're not just about individual self-improvement,
Right.
but about fostering a greater sense of harmony and well-being in the world around us.
Absolutely. And I believe that's a message that resonates deeply with people from all walks of life, regardless of their cultural background.
Okay, as we wrap up part 2, I want to revisit the change your mindset habit.
Okay.
We talked about reframing negative situations.
Right.
But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how we can cultivate a more positive mindset in general.
That's a great question. Cultivating a positive mindset is an ongoing practice. It's about training our minds to focus on the good, to find opportunities for growth, and to approach challenges with resilience and optimism.
It sounds like it requires a conscious effort to shift our perspective.
It does. Our minds have a natural negativity bias, meaning we tend to focus on threats and dangers. But we can retrain our brains to focus on the positive by practicing gratitude, engaging in activities that bring us joy, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences.
So it's about creating an environment that supports our well-being
Yeah,
and helps us to see the world through a more optimistic lens.
exactly. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the good, even when things are tough.
And I think that's an incredibly empowering message. We have the power to shape our own reality
Right.
through the way we choose to perceive the world.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the most valuable lessons we can learn from these Japanese habits. They remind us that we have the power to create a more fulfilling and meaningful life for ourselves, starting with our own thoughts and actions.
And that's a beautiful reminder as we head up to part 3. We'll continue exploring these habits, delving deeper into their practical applications, and discovering how they can help us to live a more joyful, mindful, and meaningful life. Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive into these 12 Japanese habits. As we wrap up, I'm noticing how interconnected these habits really are. They kind of work together to create a more holistic and meaningful way of life, not just a checklist of things to do.
It's fascinating how they touch on so many different dimensions of well-being, from physical health to mental clarity, emotional resilience, and even a sense of spiritual growth.
It's not about achieving perfection, but rather making small, sustainable changes that can gradually lead to a more joyful and meaningful existence.
Yeah, it's a journey, not a destination. And I think that's what makes it so appealing. It's about embracing the process of growth and transformation.
Okay, I want to revisit your own morning hour. We discussed the benefits of starting the day intentionally, but what are some practical steps to create a morning routine that truly nourishes us?
The beauty of that is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's about finding what works best for you. Start by identifying activities that bring you joy and energy, whether it's reading, taking a walk in nature, or spending time with loved ones.
It's about filling that first hour with things that set a positive tone for the day ahead.
Exactly. And just as important is being mindful of activities that drain your energy or create stress, like checking social media or emails first thing in the morning. Maybe create a no-phone zone for the first hour of your day.
I love that idea. It's about setting boundaries and prioritizing our well-being from the moment we wake up.
Even just a few minutes dedicated to nourishing activities can make a world of difference in how you experience the rest of your day. Could you imagine starting each day feeling grounded, energized, and inspired?
Let's talk about the gratitude journal again. I've tried it before, but sometimes I struggle to come up with things to be grateful for.
I hear that. It's a common challenge, especially when we're feeling stressed or down. Instead of searching for grand gestures or extraordinary experiences, try shifting your focus to the everyday things that we often take for granted.
Like what?
The warmth of the sun on your skin, a good cup of coffee, a heartfelt conversation with a friend. It's about appreciating the simple pleasures that make up the fabric of our lives.
It's about noticing the abundance of good things we already have rather than dwelling on what we lack.
Exactly. And remember, gratitude is a practice. The more we cultivate it, the more we'll start to see the world through a lens of appreciation and abundance.
As we wrap up, I want to circle back to start clean and organized. We've talked about the psychological benefits of a tidy space, but how can we make this habit a part of our busy lives?
The key is to start small and be consistent. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire house at once, choose one small area to focus on each day. Maybe it's clearing off your desk, organizing a drawer, or tidying up a shelf.
It's about breaking down an overwhelming task into manageable steps.
And instead of viewing it as a chore, try to make it a mindful ritual. Put on some music, light a candle, and turn it into a time for reflection and self-care.
It's fascinating how something as simple as tidying up can have such a ripple effect on our well-being.
It's about creating a sense of order and peace in our external environment, which can translate to a greater sense of calm and clarity in our internal world.
To wrap up our deep dive today, I want to share a final thought from the YouTuber. They use this beautiful metaphor to describe the process of habit formation. Sticking to something is like stacking little stones every day. At first, it feels like nothing's changing, but after a year, you'll look back and see this incredible tower you've built. And trust me, the view from the top will be completely different.
It's such a powerful image. It reminds us that consistency is key. Even small actions, when repeated over time, can create something truly remarkable.
So as you go about your day, I encourage you to reflect on these 12 Japanese habits. Which ones resonate with you? Choose one or two to experiment with. And remember, even the smallest steps can lead to incredible results over time.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another exploration of fascinating ideas and practices that can enrich our lives.